right?
Or he's not high, he needs to be on some kind of medication.
He's pretty stupid because there's dozer and 4 excavators sitting by. We can just have them in the ground. In fact, we used 2 excavators to block the church hard.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Good.
that's fun.
I moved one with a ditch once.
What's that?
I moved one with a ditch witch once.
Really?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I asked him, it was a contractor on the site, and I had to dig trench through there. He was in the way, and I was so nice, and he just came out swearing and acting like a. Then he went back in the house. I said, "Okay." Well, I just took the backhoe, pushed him off over the side. I said, "It's like, you know, it's your choice. You can either move it or I'll move it, but you don't like the way I move it."
If you watch that Yellowstone series, that's, I think, one of the greatest
Taking
lines.
this train station.
Yeah, it's great, but the greatest line was when Casey was talking to the guy about the buffaloes. He goes, "I'll do it, but you're gonna effing hate the way I do it."
Right?
I thought, now that's a good line.
Do it. You make your life.
I'll do it, but you're gonna effing hate the way I do it.
Not junk food, that was good. Barbecue chips.
Yeah, my boss at the wasn't too happy. He called.
Imagine now.
I don't care. This is not my problem.
Boy. Hey, Mike. I was really surprised when Chris said that they're doing causeway.
Somebody coming. Oh, I forgot to.
I don't know why.
Was Adam gonna
Such a ripoff.
Adam gonna zoom in tonight?
I don't know. Did you say no?
You have another firm, we can.
I don't know.
Jeff, you know anybody else
For what?
for this, redrawing the plans?
Sort of design.
What about the guy in Quincy right there by the cross from,
Oh, the engineering?
yeah, like, what about the guy from, Quincy right across from the, subway?
Roper?
Yeah.
But I don't know whether, yeah, I don't know whether he's part of it already.
What do you
I
mean?
guess we could ask him. I always thought that they were kind of working with Roper.
I do not know.
Thought he was involved somehow.
And Bob,
I'd have to call him, find out.
probably at the hospital doing X-rays right now. What they were telling me yesterday, what Bob telling me, and the attorney, Adam, and what the other two firehouses said, he said, because this is a special design.
Right, no, I remember we talked about this last night, if we can just have him do it, but does it hurt to ask somebody else?
No, no, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Hello.
What's up?
It's
It is cold all day. Stuff on top of the grade to tie down our load and like coming up that. Crescent Mill that went blowing right over top.
Yeah, it is cold. Check. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. I emailed you that too. Put it, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was just asking if there's another firm or
Let me see
something,
that.
you know,
Well,
somebody else we could ask,
You'd be the one to ask.
you know, find out.
Well, that was one of my thoughts too, Roger, is if those prices, I think we're gonna have to go for bids.
Pretty expensive,
Yeah,
since it's not even the real plan, you know, it's just a modification.
The 6,000.
60,000 shouldn't be the plans because they already exist and all they're gonna do is put them in the computer and go beep, 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 and there they are again.
I wondered about that. Well,
That's why they went to that station to use their, they could use their plan. And one like this. I don't know if you know anything about it.
I did not forget you.
don't know why.
I swear, actually, I did.
Oh, you're fine. I'd have given you that for a service charge for going and getting it.
No, but I looked at that too and I went, oops. Just because we're using this state doesn't mean we're obligated.
Yeah. Preliminary soil report, I see us having that.
Well, we're gonna have to, well, we gotta do, you know, the soils reports, also the compaction and all that.
the computer going here. See if anybody else has come in. Uh-huh. On our agenda. So you called it to order. Director Cherry? Here. Director Corbett?
Here.
Director Doran?
Here.
Director Orange? And Director Carpenter? Okay, now we'll do the pledge. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Joe, start your.
All right.
So I think we can breeze through a lot of these. Start with one. You got anybody on the call?
I do not have anybody else enter, and as far as I know, I don't have anybody viewing it on YouTube.
I have a question about this readout. What is this column out here?
Okay, so this is going to change.
Oh, before you get going too far, you need to approve your agenda.
Make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
And public comment.
Public comment? Not?
And before you get started, I have one other thing on your agenda that was you need to pick 2 board members to serve out the term of the IVCSD contract. And it's only going to be one, it's going to be 2 meetings total. There'll be one as a preliminary and then a final, and then that'll probably be it.
Would you enlighten me, please, on the IVCSD?
So the Indian Valley Ambulance Service Authority is the JPA between the IVCSD and Plymouth Healthcare District.
Okay.
And we provide the ground ambulance service for Indian
And that'll be going away, won't it?
As the funding mechanism has changed, we have a IVCSD audit to do, a 5-year audit and a final audit. And so then we'll have a meeting to talk about the winding down of the JPA, and then the 2 boards will probably meet together and approve, or our board will approve, and then their board will approve.
Who's on my list?
So that would be Guy McNett from Plymouth Healthcare District. And Valerie Flanagan, I believe, is the other one over there. Lucas Easy is the at-large. And we need 2 from the CSD. One that's been nominated.
I nominate.
Okay.
One more.
I vote Bob, he's not here. He's in the
Well, here we did. It was
break.
good.
He's so busy.
When's the meeting?
I haven't said it yet. I was supposed to do that as soon as we appointed some board members so that we could finish the core. Okay.
Make a motion that we nominate Chrissy and Wanda to the IVCSD board.
Okay.
A second.
Okay.
Fair.
All right,
Aye.
now Jeff,
Now you are on.
okay,
All right.
that's my question.
What I did,
Why is that off there like that?
so what I did is I put a simple debit credit column. Okay? So the debit figure came from a damage assessment that was produced by me early on.
Okay.
All right. He figured the litigation would cost $336,000. We think they're gonna come in with $2,500,000. So there's gonna be 3 more bonds that is gonna be actuals. Okay, that are gonna replace these.
Right, once we get
Once
going
we
on-
get through
yeah.
that. But we didn't have any idea where we were, I didn't have any idea where we were on this. at the beginning, Right? So I took those figures in there and I put 336, 5.1, on this to produce something for, something for FEMA. There's 520,000 for the wildlife. It did break out the cemetery costs, right? So when we did our proposal from Don on the, going on highway or the two, there'll be a cost associated with the output. Okay, then if you keep on going down, and you look and see the insurance part of there, now those are real dollars that we see in insurance. So if you look at the bottom of page 2, you'll see that we were forecasting 6.4 million, and we got 1.5 million, 4.8 million short. But again, these figures were over forecast. I mean, the true amount, they won't start getting
Yes,
this.
we won't have fun costs.
Right, so if you look at the next page, 3, which is the firehouse, you'll see that we're a little closer there. In this case, Dean estimated, and it was a WAG, right? I mean, wild ass guess, 3.8 million on that fire station. And we got 1.3 million. Chris Meyer said he thinks that the firehouse is going to be 2.2 million. So we're already there.
Right,
Right.
right.
If it's 2.2 million, sheriff comes up.
Right.
400.
We're not, no.
We're not out by more than, I mean, we're closer to like
100,000.
about 500,000.
But so that $60,000 and we gotta. Then that $60,000 comes out of our 1.3 million, right?
What?
$60,000 comes out of our 1.3 million. Right?
Yeah, but the 2.2 is the total cost of the project.
I know. Oh, that was total with the 60? Oh, I was just not, that was just Chris.
So that was the total cost.
We got that in writing.
Chris can't do his estimate. So
Sure.
no, and,
So-
and
Or any. or
Okay,
any
I have a
kind of
question.
budget.
Is that map? The actual map?
it is.
Okay, so I'd like to show me where lift station 1, 2, and 3
I don't think they're on there. No.
Can we point them out? Anybody can point them
I
out?
don't really know where they are.
Anybody over here? Point them out?
Number 1 is gonna be at the Sewer Pond Road, end of
Can we mark those on here?
Sewer Pond Road.
So that's the hot springs?
Yeah, there's Spirit Springs.
That's number 1 right there.
Uh-huh.
Let's do this.
Somebody can write better than me.
Okay, where is it?
Say it's right here.
Here's Spirit Springs. This is Sewer Pond Road. Goes down to the lift station.
About here.
I know that's one.
That's two.
You're the one that writes. Okay, LS2,
So
is that the one?
does this go down to Humphrey Circle?
Right there.
So there's one at Humphrey Circle.
Where at?
Yeah.
Right,
Question.
On the lower side of the road?
Yeah.
the one at, Lucas's.
Well, there's one down at Lucas's. So how far much farther down is he?
Let's see. Hey.
So I'm uncertain. I'm
It doesn't
uncertain.
think goes far enough.
It doesn't. I'm uncertain of 2. I know that, then that other one is probably. what we've
So
defined as 3.
LS2 is down here somewhere, and which side of the road?
But on the lower side.
On the lower
Yeah.
side. This side?
Fields are there.
LS2. And where's number 3?
It's farther down. over this way.
Mhm.
So we don't have any maps of the water line, the sewer line.
Okay.
So where's
We'll
Calais?
Try to get one.
Because you have a pump station at Calais.
Right there.
So there's Calais. So down over here on Kelly, you have a pump station here.
Which number is that, you know?
PS,
I don't-
okay,
So they're
Anything
telling,
else?
they're telling us that there is there. But no, they're not damaged. Are they not on our list?
not on the FEMA
So
list that I
they're,
know
see,
of.
they're pump stations, so I don't know.
Because I know there's something right here at the creek too. That goes across the creek. I don't know.
That's a pipe, a sewer pipe that goes
There
across.
was, there was something on a collection or something shoots across. Okay.
There probably is something that helps that get across the.
Well, that's what I wondered. That's why I was wondering which station we're talking
And
about.
maybe that's the one they're considering is, I may be wrong on two. That might be two.
We'll get it.
We'll get a map.
Better
Well,
map.
because I'm just trying to figure the topography here and how we can just use number 3 and solve all our problems. That's what I want to find out.
Right.
Yeah,
So when they designed it, there's a drawing, I don't think I have a picture of it, but there was a drawing down at Don's place when they were showing 1, 2, and 3. And Dean's grand design is between 1 and 3, digging a new, and a new thing. He's drawing a plan
A bigger one,
in between 1 and 3.
right,
In
because,
between 1 and 3.
because all of these other lines flow. The majority of the sewage from town goes down right there.
Sure.
it's down Hudson Road.
So, but I don't know the route of the hideaway, whether it continues on down this direction and over.
We'll try to get that map.
Yeah, because where's the park at?
We're gonna have the drawings here.
So
Soon.
this is Spirit Springs. the park- the park
I know
will be
just-
here.
Just down past the park is that line that goes across. I
Uh-huh.
worked on that.
You're right, because where the old depot used to be.
Right.
You turn left and it goes right
Right.
across
No,
there.
I've worked on that.
And they were gonna give us a full-size bridge mitigation, which would have relieved us of our need for Spirit Springs, but
That would've
road.
been
but-
nice.
Mhm.
But getting across the road with a track.
Oh, no, we would have come in on the backside of the
Come
road.
back to the park.
Yeah,
And,
okay.
and we have a crossing from our 5-acre parcel across the track to the park.
We do?
But is it, I don't think it's active.
Well, it's legal,
It's legal, but it's not active.
right?
No, it's not, you can't cross. it.
Well, yeah, so we have the opportunity to do that with our own. But yeah, it's not a public crossing.
No, no, it's not even able to be crossed.
Yeah, it's probably pretty rough right now.
Yes.
Nobody's filled it in.
There's nothing in the track.
So all of your other lift station or pump stations feed, and I think this is the majority of where it goes.
That's what I'm trying to get the idea. So if we got stuff out here going over here and then we need to go, it's got to go all the way down here and over. It doesn't, I don't understand.
See, because we did an expansion project for Greenville sewer expansion was all of this here and down, all the way down Hideaway, and then all the way down here. So that was part of that Greenville sewer expansion that we were still paying for,
When was that done?
97. And it pays off in 38.
Okay, so the action items for the lift station. Short-term repair plan is planned to approve. I'm gonna change that to red flags. The SEMA plant content was submitted, that's complete. Sewer panel inspection was submitted, that's complete. We still have a maintenance record request that I started working on today with Dawn. I need his input on that. We might get that done by tomorrow. We met this morning, Don and Dean met this morning to finalize any, basically, the question was, you know, are we contract the repairs out? Yes. Can we shoot that electrician branch, I guess, is his name, and get him started on fixing. Hold on, we'll see,
And so is the ballpark what it's going to cost? Or do you have to look at it first,
between 50
just to repair it for right now?
Yeah, 50,000 was the first thing until we realized that there were more problems. And the problems are, number one, the pumps are gonna have to be different, so we have to rebuild the rails.
I remember we talked about this last
Right.
night. So
And
don't
then
don't we have to
the
put this out to bid?
Yeah, we will. That's why we need one. And that's what the meeting was this morning, was to agree to the final design.
But I thought there was gonna be a short-term fix by moving some breakers over to another panel that we already have.
This is short-term fix, replace the controls on two, replace the controls and the pumps on two.
Well, that's not what he said last night, because he was saying that, you know, all we need was an electrician to pull something off of number one or something and move it over to number two, and number two would be up and we'd be semi-fixed. That's what he said last night. I remember what he said. So which is it?
I'm gonna have to count on Dean to pin Dawn down, because sometimes it's hard to tell what it is.
You
by
know,
what Dawn's
we
saying.
need reports.
Okay,
We,
I was just gonna
yeah,
say that.
because we can't just, whatever. Every time we turn around, it's, oh, and then he backtracks. You know, we need written reports of what to do and what's wrong.
That's what we're trying to get, that's what we're trying to get from Dean. Right? I mean,
Okay.
That's what I expect to have from Dean, is the short term, the long term. On paper, I haven't seen a damn thing from Dean, not one diagram, not one drawing. That's what we need. We need that for us, we need it for FEMA, we're gonna
We
need it for
need
the
it,
lawsuit,
period.
we have to
Yeah,
have it.
but we do actually, we have to have.
We have to have it.
We're just guessing.
Right.
And we are not the professionals.
And we're not out there touching and
The
feeling,
books.
knowing what's going on. We're just going off with guesswork.
Right. So we know that on two, the electrician is going to have to fix the panels, and that was authorized this morning. That's what he was talking about last night, is having the electrician fix the controls on.
That's
two.
what I thought he said.
Yes. So there's also work on three. to change out
Sure,
those pumps,
sure, we knew
okay?
that. We talked about that, yeah.
Does that answer?
Yeah, we just need something written down in
Yep.
emails or something tangible.
And I agree, I mean, because otherwise you throw somebody
We have
new in
nothing,
the
we
mix.
have
they
nothing to go
not
back
clue.
on. We have nothing to go back on, and say, well, this is what you said, so this is what we're gonna do, and now that's changed. That's no way to
We
do stuff.
literally don't, I literally, since I've been doing this, I've not seen one design. Not one. So
Or
we
just talk.
gotta have.
Enough
we've gotta
talk,
have
we
the
need to get
design.
stuff written down.
That's the hard part with town, engineer 200 miles too, you know, and that's. I realize we don't have choices there, but we need
No, I know what you're saying.
follow-up memos. Okay, we had that discussion with Dean this morning. Okay, now put it in a message, a written message to Dean. So we have a total understanding that we're all speaking the same language here.
Yes, we have a page we can work off of.
Okay, we're 20 minutes into a 1 hour meeting, so.
Okay, on to it.
Okay,
All
so,
right,
okay,
we're all saying the same thing. So that's one design. Actually, that's two designs. This from short term, long term coming from Dean. The next one is also awaiting a design from Dean. And that is to replace the fall system with the rapid sand filtration system.
Right.
I'm waiting for the design. We did get the plant contents, so that is complete. The raw water supply line. We're waiting for a hydrogeologist report. So we can consider that. You know, the
Oh, you're on number
options.
4?
I'm on number 3,
Number 3.
the raw water supply line. So the hydrogeologist is going to assess a well site versus the raw water.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then we're gonna have data, so we can make a decision on that. And that's really what we're waiting on that. I don't know when it's coming. And I thought about that this morning too, is I like him, I think he's a straight shooter, but again, I haven't seen pen to paper on anything yet, and I need to really get that. And cemetery raw water line, we beat that to death pretty much last night.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say on that?
I just think we don't need it.
All right, emergency protection measures. This one is just really a lot of administrative work, so really nothing more on this one, except that I can probably try and figure out what monies are involved in that. And I haven't really asked for, so maybe I'll put a question mark on the dollars. That's the invoices between July and December. There's a lot of money.
Right, right.
The next one, damage the hydrant meters and the valve covers. We're
Yeah,
really,
we talked about this one
yeah,
time.
okay. So that's gonna be contingent on really kind of what Jennifer brings us on Monday, because Josh is ready to go out and look for those valve covers, and I think we can maybe do a field test with this. With Jessica.
Yes, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and once you get some kind of big demo, we'll have something.
Yeah, exactly. The debris removal for both the trees and the buildings, I think we've,
Yeah.
you know, we know most about that. The gazebo,
You know about,
yeah. I've got a letter on the 2 additional projects. They're late ads, and I don't know whether FEMA's gonna take them or not. It's seen. And that one, the first one is donate resources. The reason, and Bob was the one that said, hey, I do want to do that in all the volunteers time for the month of August, the month of July.
oh, you're talking fire person.
Fire personnel, and they're donated resources because we can use that against our 6%.
Yeah.
So
So
that's.
there's a lot of time put in by people.
It was a lot of time. It was a 30-day thing. So Bob really thought it was value added. I kind of thought it was value added. We're submitting that, requesting that as a late project entry to FEMA.
And it doesn't hurt, I
It
mean,
doesn't hurt.
it doesn't hurt.
It's gonna be a lot of work to try and get that up, but we'll give it a shot. The other one are the new suits, 3/4 inch meters, and I don't know.
Okay,
how
hold on.
FEMA's-
I have a question about
Sure,
that.
Sure.
Do we have something in writing from the county about this?
Yeah, we do. We started, because your state, it's a requirement now, to put a sprinkler system in, and that's gonna take this for.
I understand it, but we have some from the county. Good.
We got that.
Oh, good, good.
We saw that. So I don't see how they can turn us down on that project. That's gonna, you know, I told you that's gonna be between $50,000 and $250,000.
Right.
Depending on if we have to change out the service.
We have to do them all in town.
Any new site. But also too, I think the manufacturing home may not qualify.
And that question came up this morning.
Yeah.
It came up this morning. And somebody said that it did, that they were in check.
Because I know all the manufacturing homes you look at in like a cheaper, they don't have those. They're not, I just last year.
And I heard at the first meeting that they were gonna waive that when the bill's here. but-
We should press that.
Yeah, we should.
That's the big expense of people building 3 buildings.
It may preclude a lot of people because putting in those fire suppression systems into a private home is minimum of $20,000.
Minimum.
We have a friend in Quincy just built a house and she had to put one in. And it was between $20,000 and $25,000.
They are.
And she says, I did not plan on that.
No.
Okay.
So they're gonna kill a lot of homes if they do that.
Okay, insurance piece of this, you can see what has been paid. We have an insurance meeting today. This is my second insurance. We have 2 insurance companies, that Elder and Allied World. Tasha and Jeff have really carried the ball on this one, trying to get money, but the bottom line is really.
Join the crowd.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's changed somewhat drastic in the last few years.
Okay, the firehouse. In discussion on the engineering and what you guys are gonna review that. And
I think it would be nice to have, see if we have another option. Have
you
somebody
want
else.
to see if you can find another engineer?
Sure.
Just, I mean,
I
it
don't
doesn't
even
hurt to
know what
ask.
to look for. You do.
It's you got a RFP, standard RFP.
I got,
So you want the RFQ.
Well, not, well, we don't have an RFQ, but we want to request a proposal to come up with basically what MST just submitted.
So if it's not going to be so you're planning on it not being a FEMA project,
No, this is the firehouse.
right?
That's, no, we don't know. That's insurance.
You're planning on it all being
Probably not.
insurance.
Possibly both. I mean,
We could have both monies.
If that's the
What
case,
if-
then you'll need to start with the RFQ, get the qualifications, you'll have to
Right.
send the acceptance letter, and then you'll go with the
Okay, I will see if we can drum up a few more.
No, if it doesn't, if not too much of a pain, it'd be nice to ask and see.
well, and then before 500,000 under for the building of the fire department, that's not including the contents or anything else, replacing any of that other.
Building's gonna be
So,
probably $1 million. It's gonna be over $1 million.
according to your construction guide, it's 2.3.
So we've got FEMA and other money in there. So yeah, we need RFQs to go out.
First, and then once the RFQ and they respond to that, then you send them the letter of acknowledgement, and then they can submit an RFP.
Okay. You know,
Okay,
but no,
I think I'm in agreement with Bob that I would really like to just sole source this engineer. But if you guys,
I don't think legally we can.
our attorney said we can,
Yeah, the legal counsel saying yes, but
legal counsel
Well,
said we
Wait,
can.
how much time and money would it, and time would it take to just at least see if there's a couple other places to look?
I think that's the concern, is how much time are we gonna end up spending on this when I'd rather spend the time waiting for the
What's gonna take
contract.
6 weeks to do something like that. Because they want to do a site, survey the site. review.
So we'll have to come out.
We can, we can negotiate on this stuff. I mean, off-site improvements to be determined, $100 an hour, that's an open meeting check. If he will say, okay, we're going to put so many hours not to exceed. We have to put a cap on it. Agree? Yeah, to be determined, no, those don't fly. I mean, because of the last hour.
Are you coming in tomorrow?
I can.
Do I have a meeting tomorrow?
no, you're going to Quincy to do banking.
Okay, let's do this on Monday, let's set up a meeting with this engineering. Wednesday. Monday.
Yeah.
that lady's gonna be here till Monday.
Yeah,
This is over here, 10 o'clock or so.
and
1 o'clock, I think. Yeah, it's we need to say, hey, when you put it to be determined, that's, for the checkbook, we don't have the money.
No, no, we don't.
And then ask them, say, well, working drawings, structural calcs and specs calculations.
I'm comfortable with you taking the lead on trying to tighten this contract up. Are you, Roger?
Yes, yes.
And I think that, let's do that at 1 o'clock. All this guy, he was super accommodating on the phone. And shot this stuff right to him.
Cool.
So. All right.
And then get it in writing. If they're on the sole source, make them eat it.
Right.
And they can do that.
Ooh, make who eat it.
Engineering.
They go over, then it's their fault.
If we say, hey, we've been told sole source, you're telling us sole source, if that's not the truth, there's retribution.
Coordination of county, $160 an hour.
Yeah, all right. What's
See,
that?
this is one of the problems is having not local and having to go out so far. It's gonna take an hour and a half, 2 hours to drive to Susan to Quincy to.
Yeah, and even a phone call, $100, $50 an hour, easily talk for an hour on the phone.
So these are over, you think? I mean, they're
We
not.
don't know.
Right. We'll do that.
You gotta do
That's
some
our
type, like you
action
said,
items.
see if we can't tighten it up.
Yeah, I mean, this has gotta be cut down.
Okay. Well, I'll meet it on Monday. The boss. Okay, moving on, non-people projects.
Okay.
Okay, the Irwin grant, that was a meeting this morning, and the idea with that is that we're going to replace, we are going to look at. Is this North Main?
That's me.
This section right in here is about all that, yeah, okay.
For 304 or the 440.
The 304. And then there's another 104. So that's the total, but with 304 we have in the bank.
And so Dean or somebody knows that's the spot that's the worst thing we got.
That they spent the bulk of this morning's on. You know,
Okay.
Don was kind of bouncing back and forth because he thought his road needs to be done. There is a $2.1 million job to re-pipe Greenville that is designed. It is a shovel-ready job. I saw those diagrams. You saw them too.
Yeah.
Was the planning grants or?
This is some of that. This is some of that, right? But that shovel-ready job is not funded. So
Yeah, I would just consider, yeah, we've got plans in hand and.
And that really shouldn't be hard to get funded because they're talking about drought. They're talking about conservation. You're talking about a district that loses more in water than we sell every year.
So Don's concern with this was that we were going to be services into homes that might not be built back, right? That was his concern. He goes, well, if we put in all these lots with new services and we do that upgrade, what if they're building down here? What if they're building over here? What if they're, you know, then we're gonna, and so he was worried about that. And I told him, I said, look, you have to take this thing in bite pieces. We have $300 that we have to spend by October 2023. Let's just do that as phase one. And then the others will pick chunks of and we'll go after the monies for it. We'll go phase two, phase three.
Didn't we
phase
just
four.
rely on our engineer to tell us that's our bad spot?
He did.
He did.
Okay, so then what's the deal? I mean, if that's our bad spot, you go there first.
I think Don with his 2 workers is worried that he's gonna have 4 services coming in 1 month. And he won't, and he'll have trouble getting them done. Plus, we have to pay for that, right? We have, you know,
Here's part of it too, is that
Do
Do we have to pay for that?
maybe, if
I
they're,
mean,
if we're gonna have to.
Wouldn't that
retrofit
be up to the
service
homeowner?
to 3/4.
Wouldn't that be up to the homeowner?
Not the basic feeder in the infrastructure.
Yeah, but then you do the property. Right,
So beyond the sidewalk, yeah, beyond the property.
kind of pushed in 2 ways now that we've got these new regs coming in. We don't have a minimum of 3/4. which is-
But you're right, Main Street's been terrible for a long, long time.
it's just a bite of it.
But I mean, you gotta fight somewhere first.
Yep.
And then the 304, the 140 can come along right after, because they've already allocated the 140,
Mhm.
and they're pretty much sure that that's just gonna come our way once we apply for it, so.
Yeah, we put the 100 and we're looking for water. money.
And, you know, and we'll take that pipeline replacement, that $2.1 million project, hand it to Adam and say, give us some,
Right.
and then we can jump along. Now's a good time to do it.
So we have to go to a bigger line because of the larger meter sizes.
Right.
And that's in writing though.
Yeah.
Can we see that?
Yeah. but,
If you could email it to us. So my thinking is also that, if that's true,
Uh-huh.
and FEMA said that if that was state mandated, that it would be covered and we could add it as a new project. So wouldn't we need a larger line and possibly they could fund some of that line because of the state mandate?
That's not what FEMA does.
They replace them, huh?
Even
They
though,
replace what?
They're replacing
What you had.
what you have. So
Well,
they're-
so from the correspondence that I see personally between Kevin and Kyle Deshay, Kevin asked if this should be added to a project. He said it depends. So it sounds like we don't know whether or not this is
I'm
something
writing the
they will
letter to
do.
request a new project right now.
Right, but we don't know. All that Kyle said in response was that it's possible this could be added as a project. There's no details as far as
Right.
how are we gonna add the meters without having a larger line? We don't know whether or not they will fund it. We have no information about if they will or won't fund that project.
It's very.
And when they use that replace in kind, they said the same thing about the fire hall. And then we said, well, they didn't act like it was gonna be different because they said, is it gonna remain a fire hall? We said, yes. It's moving down there being larger. Is it gonna remain a fire hall? Yes. So then they didn't act like the size was a problem as long as our utilization was the same.
But that the insurance company or FEMA?
FEMA.
I think the size is a huge problem.
I don't know that, well, we'd like clarification from FEMA because when we asked the question and we said the fire hall and we said, can we move it? It's going down there and it's gonna be bigger, but it's still gonna be the fire hall. And we said, yes, it's still gonna be the fire station. So I think their no is if we said, is it gonna be a rec center?
Right.
And a city hall and a fire station, then you're adding to it the things that it's not going to be. But if it's going to be a
Okay.
fire station,
And then there's also hazard mitigation, extra money where they will pay 100%. So if we're adding this for fire suppression because the state is requiring us to, it could be another pocket of money where they pay 100% for some of this. We just don't know that yet based on the hazard mitigation factors.
well, mitigation too, in that if we said, and we wanted to build back a 2,900 square foot fire hall on the same lot, that would be a non-starter. That would be a non-doable thing because that 2,900 square foot facility will not hold your trucks. The trucks are too long. So why would you build us a fire hall that's 2,900 square feet that we can't use?
Right.
Because the trucks are too big now for the fire
Too
station.
big, too tall, too long, everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. It was totally outdated.
Oh,
and they
you
seem
got
to have
parts there.
understood that
You don't
Right.
want that.
in the project. So they seem to have gotten that to and gone, yeah, as
So
long
what
as
you're
it's.
saying, Jeff, is they might do the meters just because they're in.
Well, because
kind?
we're gonna have to. We
Right,
can't,
because we have to.
we can't
Because
run a
that's state
2-inch,
mandate.
we can't run a
That's what
2-inch
Kyle's
line
saying.
down and feed a whole bunch of 1-inch meters,
I
one
agree.
after the
I mean,
other,
Doesn't take much, but I know it's just figure that out.
before we run out of water and that end of things can't, you're gonna have to go 4-inch on this end to feed all of those 1-inch meters. So
We'll have to require-
6 or an 8 would be better.
So how
Provide
can we clarify
documentation of
this,
all that.
and not have them say they're gonna pay for it?
Well, we have to add it as a project and then we have the documentation. So we'll have to document, say, okay, this is why we'll have to have the engineer or somebody say, this is why we need the larger lines
Yeah.
to meet the demands that the state is putting on us
Right.
for this fire suppression, to have the larger meters. And it will all have to be written out by somebody who, an engineer, hydrologist, somebody like that. And
Right.
that would have to be given to
Yeah, I
them.
think we need to look into that.
and they define them 3 different ways. You have altered project, mitigation project. And, and yeah, is that the approved project?
Improved, yeah.
Improved, yes. So that's their 3 definitions of the projects. So I say firm up those definitions. What do you need? Now with that pipe replacement across the river, we filed that as a mitigation to stop that from ever happening again with the tree coming by building a bridge higher, bigger, and then when across the pipe would go up over the top. Well, at first they said, yes, spend the $500,000. We started the engineering to it. So the engineer had done his work as if we were going to build that bridge. And then they said, oh, just kidding.
Yeah, that's the scary thing. again.
Right.
We don't know what the hell's
They
going
could.
on.
Oh, they'll do something. They're gonna, so really what we want to look at is every source of funding, and that's the advice that I'm getting from some of my, contacts that work in Paradise is that, map this stuff out, get as much design as you possibly can, and then just go after money because money's out there.
Yeah.
We just have to do, we can't put all our eggs in one basket with FEMA.
Right.
Because FEMA's really gonna demand tons of information and documentation. And then at the very end, they're gonna say, nope.
It's
I mean,
really
that could
interesting when they
potentially
say mitigation, you go after it, and then they deny it. It's like, well, why did you start us
Makes you wonder if it's make this
down that
decision.
path?
Well, and then it makes me think that you almost need, when they say go ahead, you almost need a.
That gives me
That's a fire to go
PTSD.
to.
Wait, I know, I got a phone. Makes me think you almost like need a lawyer involved, so if they say they're gonna give us the project, then they give.
Yeah, because we were quite blindsided
Well,
with
I
the
would
bridge and
assume you would
said,
be.
we were
Yeah.
planning a $500,000 bridge, and then all of a sudden it's no.
So Potter Handy has. pardon? Potter Handy has our insurance policies and our payment policies.
Yeah, see what
And they
Potter
said-
Handy can find on the,
They said that they would help us, so
yeah.
I think that. You
But
know,
it's just always baffling me to with FEMA, with the way that they go. We're gonna do this, and this is the way this is defined, and you can start this process.
And I thought that we didn't provide the paperwork that they wanted. And everybody says all this about FEMA, but personally, I've not had problems with FEMA. They're hard to deal with. But if you go through with my
Yeah.
personal stuff, not with the district, if I go through, jump through their hoops and I do everything that they want in a specific way, I've gotten tens of thousands of dollars.
You bet.
And
They're not
and
looking
Gene
at
Washer
big
lost
money.
everything. And they're not giving him shit.
But-
They didn't give me
But
nothing.
you
to do.
have
They're
to
giving him
comply, you have to comply with them in the specific ways that they want. I mean, I've gotten 20 grand from them and I'm a renter and they're still giving me more money.
He owned a trailer that he had the bill of sale, had the trailer park, people tell him, was it 12 by 30 or whatever, what it was. He owned 3 vehicles and all the cars, and they're not giving him shit.
But that's what I'm saying, there's.
And I did it.
Specific ways that you have to deal with them.
They just
Yeah.
said
I
his
have gotten-
documentation, they weren't gonna accept his documentation. They wouldn't accept the propane bill. They wouldn't accept it.
But then you have to give them new documentation, you have to fight them, you've got to call them, that's what I have done.
You have to challenge them every
It's,
time.
it's work, it's just like any type of assistance, and this is public assistance for a CSD. It's work, you have to treat it like a full-time job and you have to jump through their hoops. I have not been denied for anything from them.
But they treat an individual differently than they would.
They know they can. Yeah.
Yeah, because
As soon as we-
they know with utility, with their district type thing.
Well,
It's
that's why
gonna
you
be a
also have to keep
big
them on
thing,
their
and it's gonna
toes.
be big
I mean, I'm
dollars.
on the phone with them for my personal stuff for hours sometimes saying, hey, figure this out. No, figure it out. Let me talk to somebody else, figure it out. And this is how you have to work with them. I mean, just that's my personal experience. I have not had problems, but I'm very detailed and I have jumped through their hoops and I have spent the hours that it takes to get my money.
Okay, ready to move on?
Yep.
All right, number 2, Crescent Rose Water Treatment Plant. This one is, I don't have enough detail on this one to really talk to it. I know that this was, we submitted a grant proposal, and I believe that it's designed. We just don't have the money.
Yeah, that's another shovel ready for the SCADA system and the improvements to the infrastructure of the water plant itself. All of that is ready to be upgraded once we find the funding. Now there's a shovel ready project.
Yeah. So
Because the planning grant's already been done.
Okay, so I was just gonna ask you, who paid for all the planning grant? the grant?
DWR, they granted us the,
So they have an avenue for financing this?
hopefully, I mean, that's, I guess, the plan is we go back to them and say, okay, the planning grants are done. And we've been reimbursed for all the engineering and now they're shovel ready. Now we're just looking for further funding to take them to the next level.
So what are we waiting for?
Well,
I'm just gonna hand this.
that's where we ended.
Yeah, this was on hold because of fire, but we're gonna hand this. out.
Sure, I understand it on the whole.
Yeah.
Because Chris was kind of the driver of the planning grants. So he kind of drove those to completion.
Okay, so, the lift station long-term, Power Handy told me to, get the design on this, that, That's the one where we would put a lift station between 1 and 3 and make a permanent fix to that. So Dean has been authorized to draw this so that we have it in hand, so we can send it and submit it. We don't think FEMA's gonna take it because it's very what was there,
Right.
but we think PG might. They think in the lawsuit, they said, yeah, let's submit. So we're going for it. And that's another thing that Adam could potentially run in other directions.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so having those designs.
So is he working on those now? I thought so.
The bug kill trees, we're gonna send those back out. Did we need to write something up to be more specific on?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
gonna have to go back over this.
Yeah.
We'll have to refly it.
So they have an understanding that we're still the owners of the trees.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It'll have to be very specific.
Okay. I'll work with you on that. maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, all right. Can we work on it?
Okay. Engineering, we've got 2 files in there now with RFPs, which is one from G and one from NS. The contract with Dean, there's 2 contracts, one for FEMA, one for non-FEMA, so he can bill his time separately when he does FEMA projects. Any questions on engineering? We're gonna have that meeting Monday to talk with NSF, okay? The PG lawsuit, I'm just waiting to hear back once they've gone through the insurance documents and our FEMA projects, then they're gonna contact me and set up another meeting. So that we're still waiting. They've only had it a week. Accounting and budget, there's no updates. Staffing plan,
Yeah, it's, I want to get with
Adam,
Adam on that.
yeah,
He's got some ideas.
yeah, and logistics, we know we want to map the boundaries of parcels, we know we want to map the sewer. Pay stubs, that was sending each person an email, is that?
I have those, I have all
Are you doing
all
that?
you need there.
Okay, so that's good. And the newsletter, sent that out. Contact regarding damage assessment. Oh, that's Justin. And billing, I just left that on there because we're probably gonna want to look at the forecasted monies coming in. Receivable.
We have to do that to be able to do
Yeah.
a budget.
Or a grant or anything, they're gonna want that.
Right, right. So with that said, that's pretty much all that I can think of that we're working on. We've got 2 filing cabinets in here, Roger, that we should just pull one of these files out and I'll show you guys what we're doing.
What's our drop dead date on our budget?
Well, we're way behind now. It won't matter. I
Do
mean,
you have time, Chrissy, to get a hold of that Kelsey?
Our fiscal
about
year
the
ends
contractor?
June 30.
The what?
I didn't know. I knew there was something.
So you'll adopt your final sometime around then,
Well, I guess we better write one. for this.
your first meeting in.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We got to sit down and do that. budget.
Now, do we have set hours that GM's gonna be here?
I'm gonna leave it at this week. So Kelsey. I got that.
Because, yeah, if we have to go back and do this, it's gonna cost us money to go back and count these things, and who's gonna pay for that? Yeah, we gotta prove to them that there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
So hopefully the mapping will help us find that kind of stuff. We can add that to each lot. Map it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I do that. So what we're doing in here is we're building files for each project. So there's a file in here for debris removal, the firehouse, the sewer line. This is, these files have a checklist in there for some FEMA documents, right? The damage inventory, the site inspection, the hazard mitigation form. that I just started building these out. I just want you to know that if you want to go in there.
Yeah, no, I know
find
what you're
that
saying.
stuff,
I know you talked about this last off.
Yeah.
You know, I have to have some maps.
That's
Yeah,
the plan.
we've got to do that.
Each one of
have
these
a
projects
site
now are going to keep
project.
back.
Yeah,
So
no,
that we've got an actual file on each one of these projects. They're gonna need the invoices that were spent on, the labor and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's how you have to do it.
All that stuff needs to be.
Yeah,
in
because
here.
when we go through and mix it up, we can have a complete file instead of scrambling.
and that's how I have all the stuff in my office. Everything's in a file for what it is. Pull it up.
And this checklist is, showing if we need something in here, you can handwrite it in, say, I need a letter saying this is a new project or whatever, blah, 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 blah.
So I got a question on the GM's contract.
Mhm.
He, they were told that not only he comes with it, but his firm comes with it, right?
Mhm.
So do we know his hourly rate?
Mhm.
Okay, so if he has used somebody else's firm, did that change or? You sure?
Yeah, according to his contract, we're paying him $6,500 a month,
Uh-huh.
$75 an hour, right?
yeah, which comes out to. about-
And it brings the expertise of all of those individuals.
And no extra charge
Correct,
and no extra hour.
Unless you require extra hours of it.
but he's a month,
No, I know it is.
yeah, so.
I wanted some clarification on that, because, you said that we got 120 years of expertise at your availability. Okay, are you the same rate as the guy? I did, that wasn't said.
Profession charges out a different rate.
So I was wondering if it was gonna change.
Um, And he only spent 2 half days this week with us. And then, of course, he was on the board meeting. But I'm not sure when he's coming back. So we're just gonna have to figure that out.
I'm not sure. I'm just curious. It'd be nice to, like, for me.
Know which
if-
days it's gonna be.
Well, yeah, if I want to come in a medium.
Yeah, you haven't been yet?
No,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know he'd been here.
You're gonna like it. Yeah, I'll let you know. So what I think is happening, this way I think is happening, is that you have one semester there in Justin. And that
A whole bunch of legal
it's-
stuff.
He says the inmates are running. So they have, and they don't, the union, they don't want him to, touch contract budget is really just saying useless. And he said, he's got his eyes wide open. He said, we're way better.
Well, see, they're a utilities district, so they can unionize. Community services district, you're a government employee, yeah.
But
So are we a nonprofit?
No. We're not considered.
Oh, really? I
We're
don't-
considered a government agency, but we pay taxes,
I know
not on income, but on purchases.
the fire chief came in and told him that he could not talk to the attorney about negotiating with the community services employees. And he goes, fire chief said that. And I think what these people are doing is they're protecting their companies. They've got real protective.
You know it. They're coding their
They've
ass.
got 7 people that are retired out of there who are paid for life.
For like,
And their children.
And their children.
you're on the wrong board.
Yeah, that's how we trust it, folks.
I would never vote
Yeah.
for that. I would never allow that to happen to a small community. That is, would be off.
Well, it's big time. Something else I found out here, before we came to me, is the cemetery district in Chester is buying their water from the district. They're buying commercial rated water.
Well, that's all well and good, but I mean, they probably have more money in their,
For dead people.
yeah.
And it's not so much that, it's the actual burials.
Yeah.
Because the
Dead people,
cremation,
they're paying rent when
the
they get buried.
cremation is
I don't
is
get
not a
shit
chargeable,
when anybody dies and buried in
you're
my-
not putting them in the cemetery,
They
you're
don't,
putting them in urns. And you're not getting a plot.
seriously?
Yeah,
In Chester.
yeah,
Are you
everywhere.
kidding me?
If you're cremated, you don't have to go in the, you go home in a little urn.
Yeah, but now, I've been up there when Bill had to dig an urn, you know, a hole for one, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that must be.
It's gotta be a charge.
Sometimes, but that's
The
not,
Closing and
that's
opening,
not often.
because we paid $1,800 to dump my aunt in the ground, and she was in a little box.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So my father was just cremated and they have a large urn for my mother and then each one of the kids has a small urn that matches. So we have that. He's not going in the ground anymore.
Original.
He's with each one of his children and the rest of it's with my mother.
I
Are
know.
they in a,
In an urn, a pretty decorative one.
yeah. Okay, no, because we did bury my aunt's ashes in her urn.
Mhm.
And it was $1,800 to close that ground.
Cause I know, I was getting $650 and I bumped it up because everybody else is getting more. I bumped it up to $650 to dig a
Open
grave.
close.
Yeah, because dug a few of them in the past.
Yeah, so I don't know what a full deal, I know the mortuary really.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they-
Except for
David
my
County
mother,
makes you
my
get
boxes.
a permit if you're
They
gonna
like
cross
those.
county lines with with a body, even ashes, you're supposed to get a permit. But I've had people, because we have a cemetery on the ranch, and we've had a couple from Santa Rosa, she died first, and then he died. And her children brought me these permits. They paid $15 for it, so that they can bring their ashes up
Rip
here.
off.
And I thought, and they handed me these permits, like, well, what do you want me
Nobody's
to
gonna
do
do
this?
that.
My mom got their ashes gathered at Butt Lake.
Yeah.
That's against the law.
Yeah, that probably is. Nobody cares.
Ashes, ashes.
Prove it, right?
Yeah.
I know my ex,
You go find their ashes and I'll
I know
pay the fine.
my exes, it would, everything's up. Bernie Falls, you know, and so they had a big family up there, so everybody gets dumped over the falls, you know, and there's a bridge across at one spot, so everybody had to mark, make sure, you know, that nobody's
Nobody's
coming.
looking.
Dump them out, yeah.
I,
No,
I,
knew that was.
I was cleaning out my basement with all my children and all my grandchildren there. So there was an army of people there who was still alive. And they were helping me clean the basement. And I'm in my pantry, which is my favorite part of the basement, right? And I pull out this box, my glasses on, and I open the top of it up and I see mortuary out there. And one of these dogs reaches around, she goes, "Hell is that?" And I'm going, "I don't know." Box of ashes on a freaking show. So what happened, and then I had to scratch my head trying to figure out who the heck it was, right? So apparently one of his cousins had died, and his brother and sister brought these ashes up, handed them to him. He went, put them in the basement, and then he had trouble, right? And I didn't even know they were there for like a couple of years.
Oh, well.
Well, they're safekeeping.
Kathy promptly went down and shovel her daughter's little prayer. With your dad.
All right, we got everything
Are we
covered.
done?
It is 6 o'clock.
Yeah, we were
Look at that.
cleaning out my aunt's house. I found
You're gonna go
60
ahead and make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn. Go ahead.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second that. motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time and all your work.
So that,
Did anybody chime in there, Jeff?
Did not.
so that night, my brother posted on Facebook. He and I were down there.
There's some points to that.